Hello! I'm Tom Varner, and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, I've come to the Missouri History Museum in Forest Park in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, due to the times in which we are currently living, the museum requires a reservation ahead of time. So I've got about 5-10 minutes before my reservation time. So I'm just going to take a look at some of the stuff outside of the museum here. Now the museum's temporary exhibits are on the first floor. It's about women in St. Louis and the suffrage movement. Now the other temporary exhibit here at the museum right now is called the Mighty Mississippi. It's about the Mississippi River and the influence and his importance to this area and region.
I do not know much about gods, but I think that the river is a strong ground god, sullen, untamed, and intractable. Patient to some degree, at first recognized as a frontier, useful, untrustworthy as a conveyor of commerce, then only a problem confronting the builder of.
There's something kind of interesting. There's some old coins, Spanish and French, but the money is a Bank of St. Louis $10 bill, 1817. That is the pilot house of the steamship the Golden Eagle. This area is the kids area, but like everything else during these times, it is closed right now. That was the first monument in the country dedicated to Thomas Jefferson. Now this exhibit on the first floor is a permanent exhibit about the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. Desk was for sale. Someone actually bought one, at least one, and the Louisiana Purchase exhibition, the 1904 World's Fair. Chinese knee-hole desk is what it's called. This is a panoramic map of the grounds of the World's Fair. Notice the Ferris wheel,
which was used previously in the Chicago World's Fair. It's the same one that was transported here. Also notice that building there. That building is still that caged building. It's the aviary that is part of the St. Louis Zoo. Various Native American artifacts that were on display and used at the World's Fair. It should be noted that some of these artifacts were also from the Philippines and other Pacific Island areas. The carriage was part of the transportation display, and the wheelchair, those are actually, they were available to rent at the World's Fair, and for $1.25 for an hour, you could get somebody to push you around and tell you about the different sites, a tour guide. These paintings were made after the World's Fair as a remembrance. They're made specifically for this building here, the Jefferson Memorial Building, which is where the Historic History Museum is. They were specifically made for that for the balcony to be seen at the balcony there. This is the sister plane of the Spirit of St. Louis. It is pretty much an exact replica. It was used in the 1957 film The Spirit of St. Louis, starring Jimmy Stewart. Okay, this side of the upstairs tells the history of St. Louis from 1764 to 1904. Do you see the cat and the rat? Do you see the cat and the rat? Not the cat in the hat, but the cat and the rat. This is a giant 12-barrel brewing kettle used to make lager at the Limp Brewery. 12 barrels. Now the other half of the upstairs is called Reflections, and it shows history of St. Louis from 1904 to 2000. Now this exhibit is temporary. This part of the exhibit is temporarily closed due, I'm assuming, to the pandemic, but it has some old Busch Stadium seats and shows you some of the different ballparks and things in the area. Look at that, that's a huge St. Louis Browns flag. It's pretty cool. That's not pretty cool, that's really cool. There's one of Chuck Berry's guitars. Here's a small little display on Kate Chopin. I'll put a link up here, and I made a video. I visited Kate Chopin's, where she once lived, and also where she's buried at. And then this display here is about Scott Joplin, who lived in St. Louis for 2 years. Put a link up here about as I visited the place where he lived when he lived here in St. Louis, Scott Joplin House. This display is on St. Louisans in World War I. Have some artifacts here from World War I. And then all these displays. World War II. St. Louis. This is a car made by the St. Louis Gasoline Motor Company circa 1900. horseless carriage, pharmacy, church, and city hospital. This display is set up as a mid-1950s suburban kitchen. Notice the little nuns, the Sisters of Mercy, on the windowsill. Sign next to the elevator.
Well, this has been another adventure in TV land, where we visited the Missouri History Museum in Forest Park in St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for further content and ring that bell for email notifications. And if there's someplace that you'd like to see me visit, leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know why those yellow umbrellas just remind me of How I Met Your Mother.